Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for extra support. Any kind of updates and such, I usually go about on Twitter X. No gaming play series or demos for the moment. I didn't find anything interesting so far. I've been trying to in the background trying to do some recordings here and there, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to on Monday start presenting a new gaming series again. I've been busy in the last couple of weeks, which led me to not be able to start recording properly and have like a backlog of episodes to keep the cadence that I would want to go for it. But yeah, other than that, we got complete gameplay series. Sorry, on the main page of the channels, everything is in playlists. This is it regarding the channel updates. Let's go for some news. Not much happening. Today is Saturday, but we got here some persistent Resident Evil 9 rumors and our insider information, or some of them call them leaks, which is coming from Dust Column, is supposedly very accurate on the leaks and the rumors that is being throwing about on X. And he still confirms or clarified that this game, so Resident Evil 9, is taking a little bit more than expected in the sense of the production cycle of other Resident Evil mainline games, because they are trying to, let's say, reinventing the series and trying new things. So maybe that's why they are taking a little bit more time in terms of having confidence of announcing the game itself. But supposedly, this kind of trying new things, kind of when they took a turn with Resident Evil 4 when it came out, or even with Resident Evil, this is 7. So the kind of almost a soft reboot to a certain degree. Again, even though supposedly it will take in a smaller village, it's not going to play itself, or shouldn't expect to play like Resident Evil Village. Again, I didn't play the game myself, this one, even though I already bought it. I only played Resident Evil 7 recently, or more recently, like 6 years ago or something like that. And there is no confirmation if they're going to try and maintain the first person view, or if, I think Resident Evil Village also has a mode for third person view. Again, there is no confirmation regarding if they're going to try and maintain the experience in first person, or if they're going to go back to like the remakes that have been doing there. Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4 remakes, they are for over the shoulder third person view. But he maintains that the game should be announced this year to and coming out next year. There is some opportunities if this is going to take place from the Summer's Game Fest, or even Gamescom, or even in September in Tokyo Game Show. Again, if they're going to do something, I will assume they want to have a tight schedule, or at least a short amount period between the announcement and the release of the game. Again, I'm not sure regarding with even though I don't think they are the same genre of games, regarding the GTA 6 being announced, I think summer of next year or something like that. I don't know. But I assume, given that Tokyo Game Show could be the better place for them to announce something like this, but that there is also the possibility by the end of the year with the Game Awards that there are going to be some kind of teaser trailer or something like that to start off the marketing campaign for that game. In terms of releases, I'm not sure because of the fiscal years how they work there, if they are going to launch the game in the final quarter of this fiscal year, which lasts until March of 2026. I think if they're going to launch in the beginning of the year next year, I will assume probably Tokyo Game Show or Gamescom should be a better window to have like 6 months of going about and ramping up the marketing campaign. Or if they're going to just next year on the fiscal year of 2026, again, it can be the entirety of the year basically. Yeah, it's interesting that there is some reiteration that the game should be announced this year. to be launched next year. And now it's just a matter of supposedly fine tuning how the game is near completion or going gold. And when they feel prepared to start ramping up the marketing campaign for that, all depends of how Capcom is going to go about it. Again, I'm not sure if they're really in a hurry to put out new games to try and make huge amounts of revenue. Capcom is doing relatively well with especially Monster Hunter Wilds. From Capcom launches, I'm not sure if this year is going to have more games like main series from their IPs. The fighting games, I'm not sure how that is going to go about. But yeah, the Monster Hunter Wilds sold well so far, so I'm not sure if they are really in a stress of demanding a game being launched. But yeah, this is what we got here from Resident Evil 9. Then yesterday or 2 days ago, again, I remember caughting my attention during yesterday's, especially after I did a video regarding again that Bungie, for my accounts, for the first time, was caught stealing artwork for their own games. Again, Bungie has been in a lot of trouble since I think the CEO, I think he jumped the ship there, and I think it was a CEO or something like that. The guy that has like a huge collection car, and then everybody in the studio was kind of struggling with payments and stuff like that. I think there was something about that, but yeah, they were caught off again stealing art without any kind of permission or even putting any kind of attribution for that art. And this comes from anti-real on X. He said he cover the alpha footage started coming out, and he saw that the the assets are lifted from poster designs that they did in 2017. Again, and then continuing these statements, Bungie is, of course, not obligated to hire me when making a game that draws overwhelming from the same design language I have refined for the last decade. But clearly, my work was good enough to pillage for ideas and plaster all over their game without pay or attribution. I don't have the resources nor the energy to pursue this legally, but I have lost count of number of times a major company has deemed it easier to pay a designer to imitate or steal my work than to write me an email. In 10 years, I never made a consistent income from this work, and I am tired of designers from huge companies mood boarding and prioritizing my designs while I struggle to make a living. Again, this is this is again it's at least the fourth time that something like this happened. They were confronted and confirmed that there was this error of these assets appearing in the game. And they said that they immediately investigated concern regarding unauthorized use of artisticals in Marathon and confirmed that the former Bungie artists included this in a texture sheet that was ultimately used in game. Again, former Bungie artists trying to get rid of the responsibility for themselves of not using, I don't know, Q&A, quality assurance, to see if there is any kind of issues with the art is being used. But they continue. This issue was unknown by our existing art team, and we are still reviewing how this oversight occurred. Again, this is a fourth time in 5 or 6 years. We take matters like this seriously. Obviously not. We have reached out to Anti-Real to discuss this issue, and we are committed to do right by the artist. As a matter of policy, we do not use work of artists without their permission. Again, wrong. They are lying. Again, this is at least the fourth time since 2021. At least that's been covered. Again, fourth time boycotting, stealing from an artist, basically, without giving them proper credit. First 2021, then 2023, then 2024, and again, fourth time this year in a 4 year span. Again, I don't remember which games were in these occasions here when they basically stole the art there. And again, they are reiterating that to prevent similar issues in the future, which even if they started this in 2021, obviously it didn't work. What the processes that implemented there, we are conducting a thorough review in our in-game assets, especially those done by former Bungie artists. Again, trying to get rid of the responsibility, because again, it's a former Bungie artist. Usually I think they go for outsourcing this kind of thing with an independent artist, and they so they can blame and put all the responsibility if something goes wrong in these instances, and then they basically pass a check to the artist where was incurred this stealing. But yeah, and they continue to do the same things that they do, and implementing stringent checks to document all artists' contributions. We value the creativity and dedication of all artists who contribute to our games, and we are committed to doing right by them. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. Yeah. And here, in the response to a separate question about assets being lifted, until real confirmed that artists from Bungie, including Marathon franchise art director Joseph Cross, followed them on X for years. Though Anti-Real had previously never interacted with anybody from Bungie artists or even with this Joseph Cross here. Again, it just shows that, coincidence or not, this guy followed the anti-real artist for years, and at the minimum we can say that he took inspiration from those posters for sure. And then there was an update on the 16th, so yesterday, Marathon game director, they did a stream supposedly talking about the alpha footage and all the things there, and they basically had to start off with a prepared statement that wasn't all too different from the one Punchy already gave through its Marathon dev team X account, which is a smaller account. Even though, again, it's you can blame it internally on the dev account to make this thing, even though, again, they are recognizing the smaller account than the Punchy account or the Marathon account, official account there on X. Cross confirmed that the lift assets will be removed from the game, and that the thorough scrubbing of the rest of Marathon's assets, will be done to ensure that there is nothing else they've missed like this. Cross also added that Bungie is working to make this right with Ethereal, and that they've reached out to her to try and do just that. Again, Dan Cross was asked by a viewer on that live stream why Bungie didn't just hire Anti-Real instead of removing all the assets. And then he confirmed that they are open to collaborating, contracting Anti-Real to work on Marathon and work with Bungie on making art for the game, but clarified that the lift assets need to be replaced with original assets created by Bungie artists. Again, it's very weird. Again, they already had assets, supposedly original artwork that was not, let's say, influenced by anti-real art by itself, and they just replaced it because they thought it was better. That's a little bit weird. But yeah, this continues to occur, especially with Bungie. Again, it's the fourth time in 4 years, give or take. So it's basically once per year you got this kind of shenanigans. I think one of the things was Destiny 2 with some, I think, weapon stuff there that was completely copycatted. Again, they did again 4 times. Was usually covered. I don't remember the other two instances before this one. But yeah, I think one of them was Destiny 2. Plus all the shenanigans that they went about it, Bungie with Destiny 2, with removing content, not being available for people that bought that content, with some weird justifications. Again, they're not being right by the customers. And this, I also been seeing that Marathon, it's going to be like another Concord, basically. Again, I usually don't play this kind of game, so for me, it's a little bit off the radar. I watched the announcement trailer again, and even the CGI movie didn't impress me at all. The only thing that really caught my attention probably was the world setting. The design language here is very confusing. People that play the alpha said they got completely lost on the maps because it's so bland, so it all seems the same thing there. I think the design language and the color schemes and they are very confusing even for people that are used to play this kind of games, which is not that good. Yeah, I don't think this game is going to do very well. That's for sure. I think probably if this continues like this, I don't know. Bungie will shut down eventually because they are not getting their shit together, especially after that. I think it was the CEO of Bungie that had like a 50 rare car collection showing off that on social media while employees were struggling to pay bills or something like that. Again, don't quote me on that, but that's the impression that I got. I think a year ago or so. But yeah, this is not going well. This is another acquisition from PlayStation that is not going well. Again, Jim Ryan, the ex former boss of PlayStation, and his philosophy of going all in multiplayer games and games as a service, from basically trying to do that in all first party IPs from PlayStation. Again, a lot of them are completely canceled now. I think Marathon is kind of remnants of that. Yeah, yeah. I don't think this is going well for them, but yeah, this is kind of another fiasco from Bungie. Um, I think they should have stick with the bread and butter of Halo, and go about that, because this is not seemingly is not working for them. Then we got the launch of Doom: The Dark Ages, and interestingly enough, again, this might be a lot of compounding effects for the fact that they didn't have a good launch, especially on Steam in terms of concurrent players. Again, only today is Saturday, so hopefully the numbers will get better. From what I understand from the reviews, the game it's kind of a slower pace than Doom and Doom Eternal, in the sense because now you have a shield. The tempo of the combat is a little bit different, so it's a little bit more focused on probably on pairing and trying to position yourself in a better way to use that shield mechanic. So the tempo is a little bit more slow. Uh, Again, I remember seeing some footage from Doom Eternal. I never see anything, but it's always been a very fast-paced first-person shooter. I don't know if it is anything to do with that, even though the review seems to be pretty positive overall. They trying to experiment a little bit with this one. But I think one of the issues this game is having at this moment, I'm not sure if it has to do, for example, with given that this is an Xbox studio now, from Bethesda and id Software. I think probably the fact that the Oblivion remaster launched like a couple of weeks ago out of nowhere. Probably people are playing that game that would be curious to play that this the Dark Ages. The fact that it's also an Xbox Game Pass, uh, people are not very worthy of going out and playing this game out of the gate. Um, I don't know. Also, by the fact that the numbers on Steam might not be that good, because again, Steam doesn't have any Xbox Game Pass concurrent players, of course. So probably instead of people buying on Steam and playing it on Steam, they are turning into to the Game Pass thing there, probably. And that's, I think, one of the reasons, or several reasons, plus the fact I think the game is $80, if not mistaken, which also doesn't help. I think it's $80. I got here the Steam DB. Um, let's see. Uh, Price history. Yeah, 269 AED. Where I am. Where is this? The US dollars. $70 supposedly. Yeah, I think this game, given the what you usually have here, again, I think it's 70. Uh, it's a normal price. Probably people, yeah, you got 84%. 84% are liking this game. Yeah, I think probably it's a conjunction of several factors. Probably this weekend the player count might go up a little bit. We also have, for example, Clair Obscure, which is, again, they are completely different genres, but again, the people have a limited amount of time to play games on their own free spare time. Probably they are preferring at this moment in time to play around with other games, and they are leaving Doom: The Dark Ages because these are more recent ones. Launch, probably they're leaving behind, but again, this game is being the launch compared with Dragon Age for the Veilguard, which is curious, almost 90,000 players on the peak. Even Doom Eternal had an excellent launch, around 100,000 peak players, and even Doom, the normal one, the first one from the soft reboot, was 44,000, which is 9 years ago, which is very interesting. Again, I'm curious about what you might think regarding the week launch. I don't think this game has to sell huge amount of copies to justify, but it goes to again to reinforce, given that this is a Game Pass game, again that sales of the full game will always be affected in any game that Xbox is going to launch, and I don't know how they can justify, given that even let's accept on the higher tier of Game Pass, I think it's $25 per month or something like that. If people manage to access this game, play the game, and just go, it just counts as a fraction of those $25 because those $25 are going to be supposedly redistributed for all the library of Game Pass games. Yeah, instead of getting a $70 or even a $60 or even $50, if you get it like an early bird discount, which a lot of AA game developers are doing, I think it could be a better strategy to pull players and sell copies. But yeah, I think in the next week we're going to see if they're sold well or not. Probably Xbox or Bethesda will announce the number of copies sold or players that play the game, depending on the what they're going to do next week. If they do anything like this, we'll have an idea how good or bad this game is being received in a sense of sales. But yeah, this is what I got for today regarding news. Let's go for some gaming deals. We still have Bioshock the Collection, so the free games, the first two remastered versions, and Bioshock Infinite, everything with DLC associated with these free games, 80% off. Then you got Black Mesa Definitive Edition, so the remake of the first Half-Life, 90% off, very cheap here. We got Cuphead still on sale, 30% off. Then you got Cyberpunk, recent on deal here, 60% on the base game, but I think the best one is the Ultimate Edition with the Phantom Liberty DLC there, 48% off. Then you got Karma the Dark World. Again, very positive feedback. I played a demo of this one. Seems very interesting what you're trying to do here in terms of psychological horror and some mystery and detectiving here. If you want to check, you can download the demo or you can check out the gameplay that I did on the demo there. And it's 20% off. We got Midnight Suns. Again, I do recommend this one. I did a gameplay series on this one, trying to go for kind of a light hunter path there. I do recommend, it's kind of between XCOM and deck building mechanics there. I did manage to acquire this for free from Epic Game Store a long time ago, and I did in the meantime a gaming series on this one. But I do recommend at least this Digital Plus edition, because you have afterwards, if you want to upgrade, you can have the things here for the side characters. Then we got Pacific Drive, 50% off on the base game. And lastly, we got The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Again, the one that I recommend is Complete Edition, Blood and Wine, and Hearts of Stone DLC expansions. I do recommend playing vanilla, or maybe with some texture packs there in the first playthrough, and then the other ones that you might be going about with the gameplay mods. I think it's best on the second and other playthroughs that you want to do about it. But yeah, this is it. I'm going to wrap up here with a plug on my Patreon as usual. The Patreon is for extra support, and that extra support is more in line for me to try at this moment in time arrange a better storage solution so I can have backups of stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.